Hey. So I just got through building my Lunar Lander. This is the Apollo 11 Lunar Lander from Lego. And I had a great time building it. It's got some of the most unique Lego designs I've ever seen before with these legs. It's awesome. And some of the connecting work up in this guy. The module, super cool. The way this thing comes out, and you can see some of the details in here, and the doors that open in. And then this guy. Very, very happy with this build. It's going to be a nice part of the collection. There's so much detail on this guy, most of which is hidden and you'll never see it. But today, and it might be a mistake to do it on camera, my famous last words, I got this item kit from Briksmax, and we're going to go through it together, which also might be a mistake. So we're going to see how this works. Oh, this is a user guide for after it's been built. Looks like there's some do's and don'ts. So there might be several opportunities for me to pause this as I do some problem solving. Well, we got some pretty generic directions. Yeah, hopefully I should be able to figure this out. Doesn't look too terribly hard. Also, it looks like some of this is going to be left up to me. Some decisions. So let's see what we got. Whoa. Alright, lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. There's the switch and controller. Tiny wires. Oh, it's USB power. And there's also a battery pack. I think you have the option of doing one or the other. So it looks like first thing it wants us to do is to get rid of the base and the limb. Whoa. Already breaking stuff. Okay. And then it wants us to flip this upside down. Let's get rid of the ladder. And the first thing it's telling us to do is pull this guy off. And that just pulls straight out. Now it says Alpha 04. That's that guy. It also says G01. There's G01. Yeah. So the first thing we have are these little guys. Man, these are tiny, tiny little wires. I might reinforce some of these with some shrink. We shall see. But they're probably an appropriate wire size for some of the cable harnesses that were on this thing in real life. So here's USB. I'll have to see if I can find a USB extension wire. Otherwise, we'll just use battery. Okay, Alpha 04. Let's get rid of the rest of this stuff. So I need 2 of these. Oh, these are tiny. My goodness. So now, the question I have to ask myself is, do I really want to put these little pads on, or do I want to hit it with a little bit of hot glue or super glue? I don't know. I think I'm going to use these pads like they've mentioned. And let's see here. Okay. So then the question is will there be room? Will there be room for these wires after I put them together? What does it say? It doesn't show how to put it back together. I'm a little concerned about pinching the wires. But I could cut out a slot. I might do that. It doesn't say that I need to. But if I have 2 of these wires going through, let's just fold this over. Let's see if we can still get that post through. That went all the way through. So as I suspected, this is going to be awfully tight. So I think what we're going to do is cut a slot. Let's see if my X-Acto blade will cut a notch. It works a little bit. I almost feel like I need a little saw. I do have one here someplace. I might have to do some digging, but it wouldn't get all the way in there. So I think I'm just going to keep. Yeah, that actually will probably work a little bit. Yeah. So let's see how well this works now. Whoa. Okay, so if I pull them down into this little notch that I created with my X-Acto knife, now I want to put this through there, and that's going to work. So all I did was just nick it a little bit with the X-Acto blade, and that'll work. Yay. So it wants to actually be sticking on 2 of those posts. I think to eliminate oils from my fingers getting on the stickums, I'm going to use some of my fatty blade tweezers. Okay, I'm going to get rid of these wires for right now. Okie. My kids in the background are playing some video games. They're being silly. So if you hear some weird noises, or hear a child scream out, "You killed me," that'd be why. It's not creepy. Okay, so now all I'm doing is I'm widening it just a little bit, just so that there isn't like a little sharp edge. And to do that, I'm just putting my X-Acto blade in there and going back and forth. That's all. Okay, so now let's peel off the top. There we go. One down. There we go. 2 down. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out where the diode is. There she is. But I want to put it so that the wires are going a different direction. Come on. There we go. Before we go any further after this, I think what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead to find out where we find the power supply. Oh no. The power supply and the controller source, so we can test things as we go. Lord knows I have put all kinds of things together, and when I tested them at the very end, they didn't work. And then it's a question of, well, did it not work out of the gate? Or did I do something to bust it up in the first place? So now we're going to make sure that these wires feed through our notch. Got one in, not the other. So after we get this first one in and make sure it's working, then you'll have an idea of the process. And I think from now on I'm just going to do this part off camera. That way I'm not swearing on camera as much. Or at least wanting to. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. So now they want us to plug some stuff in. Let's see if we can find all of this stuff. So it's F1. Oh, there's two of them. 2-notch switch. It's exciting. Okay, so that direction is showing how to mount it, but really what I just want to do is plug it into the power source and get her working. Okay, so what piece is that? D2? Okay, so got two of those in, and then it looks like I need a D4 jumper. So let's try this one. That is tiny. I might have to bust out the magnifying glass. Okay. I'm guessing it doesn't matter which one's which. So each switch is for the different type of power source, whether it's battery or USB, I'll bet. Let's see, and that one's the battery pack. I mean, we still got a lot of work to do. This is for brighter effect, the USB is recommended. So I think what we're going to do is just try. And hopefully we don't burn it out from only having two lights on. Okay, so see what happens. Hopefully we don't burn anything out. Hey, we got a light. That's pretty cool. We'll have to learn about those different options. But most important thing that we just learned is that these two lights work. And if I've learned anything, it's that the wires don't want to be yanked on, so I'm going to try to pull these out. Well, that one's toast. Jeez. Should use my fingers. Alright. Gonna have to do some splicing there. Yeah, we'll jump off that bridge here in a sec. Okay. Well, as you can see, I've got my soldering equipment out. So what that means is I have counted the number of lights that I have in the pack, and I have counted the number of lights that I need, and I have no spares. So, I'm going to splice these two together. And the amp draw should be fine. But if not, I'm gonna be ordering another one anyway, just so I have some spares, some backups. Anyway, my soldering skills are about average, but that's with normal sized wire. These are like human hairs. So hopefully continue to have a decent view. So pretty much all I'm going to do is unravel the whites and twist all three of them together and then put a dab of solder on it. And then a shrink boot over that. So it's the tiniest shrink I have. I'll get one of the next size up. So what we're going to do is put this over the top of everything. Roger, roger. And then we're going to cut this in half. We're going to use one of those for the white and one of those for the black. And then we'll go over everything. Hopefully you can see better than I can, because I can't see this very well. That's why I'm using the magnifying glass. Okay, so we're going to park this right there. Oh. Got all excited about the shrink boot. Didn't put it on. Oh man. Please, please, please. If you see I'm doing something totally stupid, feel free to yell at me. Lord knows I do it. But also, feel free to tell me how dumb I am in the comments. But by all means, do not ever take me for being an expert. I'm a knower of many things, but I'm an expert of nothing. Again, do as I say, not as I do. We got two of them. One. Alright. Squeaky chair. Alright, so that solder's gonna do okay. Now we're gonna do this one. Alright. Oops, sorry. Probably makes you sick. Alright, so by the end of the day, we have one set of lights. Let's see how long the rest of them take. My goodness. Let's clean up this mess. So, now let's see what we can get away with now that this has a whole bunch of shrink on it. And you can hear my Cujo of a watchdog. Okay, so that's gonna work. I'd like to test it again. But so I got myself into this trouble in the first place. Okay, so now what does it say? I'm gonna put that back on the main assembly. Then we gotta put 4 of these things on there. What are they attaching it to? I'm being extra careful now. And that thing just wants to go like right there, it looks like. Yeah, he's got it like that. And so he's utilizing 4 stickums, but I think that might be overkill. I might have something that works a little bit better just because it's a little bit bigger. So I think we're going to try this stuff. Alright, and we're going to cut a little bit of this off so we don't see it. Sorry. I am so inconsiderate to the viewer. Just to be exact with the orientation, it does look like I'm on the right one because of those things. So we're going to put this right there, and that's nice and sticky. We're going to put this in. What did we smash? No, just that. Okay. Okay. Oh, I probably should have connected some wires to it first. So we're supposed to light that up individually, but we don't have individuals to light up. So we're just going to do the one. I'm going to twist this around yonder. This light. Oh, I gotta be more careful. All we're doing is flattening out these things, so that's okay, but okay. So now we can fit this down. It's tense. It's really tense. I can't tell if I need to flip it or not. It's tapered. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the rest of this is going to take a while. I'm just going to come back after I frustrate myself, and we'll talk. Okay, so these, the four little lights just went into these little plates. And now what I'm doing is I'm wrapping the wires around. So that they're not too fussy. Oh, and I don't think, I'm not going to get this one around twice. And this goes in. Okay, and then I think what I'm going to do is try to just force these wires down into the mess. I might get a little micro zip tie, or actually what I do have is the spare wire. I have the spare wire from the one that busted. We're gonna use it if I can get it threaded through all of them. And use it as a wire tie. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of digging how it looks with all these wires hanging around, because I don't know for sure, but it seems a little more authentic. But I feel like the original was built with zip ties. You know what? I'm not going to be able to tie this, but I think that I'm okay. I do have a couple of them wrapped around. So yay. So far so good. Okay. Now we're going to see what the next step is. Got all those wired and pressed down. Have two open ports. Now it wants me to hide the battery pack, it looks like. Where are we putting the battery pack? Interesting. I'm going to have to go find me some batteries too. So I think that's it for this part of the kit. Boy, these directions, man. These directions. Okay. I'm going to figure out what the next step is and come back and report. Hey. So, welcome to the Milky White Void that I've got on loan from John Oliver, and I have to get it back to him as soon as I can, so I gotta get this done. But I did get done with the lighting on this Lunar Lander, and I'll show it to you here in just a sec. I wanted to explain a couple of different things. So it came with two different controllers, but only one lead to the controller, and there wasn't a bypass on one of the controllers. So what that meant is that the second controller would do whatever the first controller was being told to do, plus what it wanted to do on its own. So my problem with that is that the top would have a nice blink, but then the bottom would be sporadic, and I didn't have the control over it that I wanted. So what I did was I took the power lead that comes in from this USB cord and I split it with more cutting and splicing. And of course, so you know me, it took 3 weeks. But what I ended up doing was getting both the bottom and the top their own power lead. So anyway, you can see that there are some wires wrapped around the thing, and you have to be a little creative about how to get them in and out, back and forth. But I kind of like the look of the wires on there. Anyway, so without further ado, sorry, I'm shaking everything as I turn this light off. Whoa. Yay. So I don't know if I showed it in the video or not, but I painted the two lights down here, one yellow, one orange or red, so that it looks like a rocket light off. And then I've got these guys that are white, and of course the cockpit and the blue follow the same blink. Anyway, I couldn't be more happy. Here's just lost Buzz. Buzz is coming out second. Neil's already down. Of course, here's the camera that filmed Neil coming down the stair. And this is a retro reflector that they left on the moon. Anyway, very happy with how it looks. Thanks for following me on this journey. Bye for now.